Good morning, everyone. How is all today? Let me go ahead and get this other portion started before I get into talking. Yeah, but good morning. Good morning. Good day to you all. What do you foresee in your day going forward? Did you wake up on the best side this morning? Did you wake up on a good side? And if you didn't, did you choose to wake up on the bad side that you are? Because honestly, whew, it can change at any moment and get better for you throughout your day. So let's go ahead and start right in this moment. And we're going to say, hey, Tierney, you are going to have a wonderful day. It is going to be an amazing day, literally because you are present in it. And because you are present in it, you can choose any way that you want it to go. Therefore, let's make it and be intentional on the type of day we're going to have today. But without further ado, let me get to my conversation for this moment. I was just thinking about my grandmother and about my dad and about, all the other people who I love and cherish. I mean, because I'm one of those people, I'm dealing with my own challenges, emotionally, mentally, whatever may be going on. I have a way of pulling myself out of everyday life, of communication with other people, of dealing with them, interacting with them and showing up in their lives. But I still carry them with me everywhere that I am, and what I do is like when I think about them, I'm literally like, they're sitting right here. I'll have a conversation within my head with them. And I mean, that's not helping anybody. Sometimes you got to reach out. For me, I'm talking to myself, and actually communicate that the love that you have for other people so that they know and that they feel it and they can grow upon that. I mean, because nobody can really read your mind and nobody should have to, honestly. So I was thinking about my grandmother right now and thinking about all of the elderly right now. You got to think about it. They're waking up in a world that is no longer recognizable. And in their experience of life, it's like some of them, they're coming up to their 80s and everything, even their 60s, whatever it may be. Life completely looks different. I mean, you got this age of technology where when it comes down to utilizing your brain power, it's like you got these other things thinking for you. And it's kind of like a world that's foreign to them. So it can be challenging to go on and exist in this life, the way that they're used to and accustomed to being. And that can be kind of scary. I mean, we got a lot of our elderly who are waking up in houses alone, where they used to be the provider and the ones who made sure that their family was taken care of. Like back then, they didn't have daycare and stuff like that. Like they were the daycare. They were the teachers. They were the providers. They were the lovers. They were, pretty much everything that we needed. So I just encourage everybody this morning to as you get up and you're thinking about your grandparents, your parents, like whoever it may be, reach out to them and say, hey, speak to them, let them know how much you love them and how they're doing. A lot of them are actually looking forward to hearing from us on a daily. I mean, even if they spend up like an hour of your time or like 5 minutes of your time, 10 minutes of your time, whatever it may be, to converse, give them that space of life. Like, provide them the opportunity to have that space of living, even if all you're doing is listening to them talk. Because could you imagine waking up, you've lived your life all this time, and now you're like, now what? Because you really don't get old until you start thinking about it. It's like, you start reflecting on all the things that you've done in your life, all the things that you got to a point of, the stuff that you wish that you had done more of, and you start literally, or you forget, you stop thinking about what you can now do, what you can change, what you can, go forward to. It's like the more I realize that my grandmother's reflecting more on the memories, I'm realizing that she's not projecting for, you know, future tense. It brings up a little bit of a worry to me, but I know she's all right. But I still want to call and make sure that I do. I don't go around her as much because I'll be around the homeless a lot, doing different things. And it would be to my detriment if anything happened to her because of my desire to do something else. It's like, that's not at all my desire or what I want to happen to her. But I'm also thinking about, because of my grandmother, like she's the first person that, and honestly, not just my grandmother, a lot of us literally are only here because of our grandparents. All of us are only here because of our grandparents. If it wasn't for our grandparents' love, their whatever you want to call it, most of us would not be here. Even if you have a rocky relationship with your grandparents, grandmother, grandfather, because they're always telling you what to do or they're trying to instruct you on some stuff, they're trying to give you the wisdom that you couldn't get from Google a long time ago. Stuff that they actually lived through, that they actually practiced, that they actually went out and had to put their hands upon and do their own activity for, in order for you to have. Us, we can go to the store, go to the market. We ain't have to go out to no hog slaw and kill a pig in order to get meat. We didn't have to plant a garden, or right now we don't have to plant a garden. We don't have to, do anything. It's like, it's to the point to where now we can go online and do our grocery shopping and just pull the car up for them to load it up for us. They didn't have that type of stuff. So this is the type of wisdom that you don't want to let go, because at some point in time, this whole technology thing, even as it continues to advance, it's going to reach a point where it's like, yo, we need somebody who can plug in the information that we just lost. And they're the only ones that can tell you step by step, literally, how to get something moving, something rolling. When you have to plant your seeds during this season, underneath this moon, at this time of day, yada, yada, all the stuff right there. Without that information being plugged into the systems, they can't feed that information to you either. So all the wealth and the knowledge that we're looking to gain today, we're not valuing the right output, the source of where it's coming from. Don't forget your roots and what you've come from. Also, I'm looking at, when it comes down to it, my children, Lord have mercy, thinking about when it comes down to, my grandmother's the first person that introduced me to church. Like, literally, if it wasn't for her, it's like, I remember when we were, the very first time I recall, going to church and everything. Of course, I don't recall getting baptized. I was 4, however old I was, was an infant. You don't know that. Got pictures, but even still, if it wasn't for her, as soon as we came down to Beaumont with my mom, she brought us all. She had all her grandchildren at Blessed Sacrament. Okay, we were all in a choir. We were all in the African parades, like whatever it was that she had coming up. My grandmother made sure that we knew of a God. We had a relationship with that God, even if we didn't understand it. At least we were exposed to it, to give us to the point to where we would learn something and have question. So it's like with my grandmother, it's like, I just want to take this moment to reflect upon her and just think about the rose, the tree that she is. She's literally the reason for Superlative You. If you look at my logo, it's a tree with a woman who spreads her arms out, butterflies of love, and the roots are stuck into the ground. It's like we're all that came before us, all that we are, and all that's going forth. So it's just like, my grandmother has always been love, even in her sternness, her strictness, her conversation, how she, she gets on us from time to time. King, come on. You want to be on? Come on. He's dancing.
No, look.
Okay, baby. I see you. You're so awesome. Come on.
I finally beat the hardest level ever.
You beat the hardest level? You did.
The boss that I could never beat.
You beat the boss.
Actually, he's not even the, because someone actually beat the full game before.
They did. Okay. Well, all right. Well, you got your energy going on about you. I'm proud of you. Good job. High five.
That's confusing, because I'm holding up this one, but it says I'm holding up that one.
Because it's like reflecting you. It's like, it's not a mirror image. It's, yeah. All right. Let me finish, okay? Let me finish, baby. Thank you. But still, it's like, remember your, go ahead and close it. I'm thinking about all the memories that I have with my cousins of just different videos. We go back and we watch, and literally, if it wasn't for my grandmother, we wouldn't have those videos either. We wouldn't have the reflecting. We wouldn't have the memories. Oh, go ahead and show your hair, baby.
Check out my new head. We're gonna make it in this year, and I'm going to be the sponsor of letting my mom make a business out of heads.
Thank you, King. I appreciate that, baby. Thank you so much. Yes. That's my little entrepreneur, y'all. He's the one that definitely pushes me to continue on. But looking at the videos that we have of all our family members, cousins, aunts, uncles that have passed on, it's like how we get to sit there and literally sit with them for a moment in time as we watch the videos. Most of those videos came from my grandmother and my mom, who took it on. And then, like, I'm noticing, like, my nephew and myself, like, we keep pictures, we keep videos, we hold those memories and we cherish them. But a lot of times we're not reminded of them until we actually see them play out on the screen. And then all of a sudden we're back in that time that we spent with our family members, and it's just like you can almost feel it. You can smell the smells, you can see the sights, and you can enjoy the pleasure just like yesterday. And it's not until you come out of the reflection that you feel their actual loss. But it's a different type of feeling. It's no longer in pain. It's just like, yo, I remember how awesome they always were. So those videos, those memories, all that stuff is very important. But when it comes down to, like I said, a lot of our grandparents are waking up in a world that they don't recognize today. And that can be a lonely place. Could you imagine going from where you're in the United States, being dropped off in the middle of Japan and saying, hey, make it? That's what a lot of them are experiencing. So give them that at least familiar tone, that familiar voice, that familiar love, that familiar exposure of your presence, and remind them of how prominent they've been in your life, take some time out today. I don't care if you got to send them a message that can be read to them, if you got to pick up the phone and call them, if you got to, like, whatever it is, give them a moment and a space, not just to be relatable, to exist, but like just to live in the moment, in the memories, the good ones, the bad ones, whatever it is. Just be there for them today. Give them a call. Pick up the phone and make a phone call. I mean, it's like, if you know that health wise you've been out in amongst the public doing stuff you ain't got no, not that you have no business doing. I mean, because like me, working with the homeless, it's not something I've got no business doing. It's something that I desire to do, but it's not healthy for me to interact with my grandmother on a daily if I'm going to continue to do that. So just do your due diligence. I'm not talking about just wearing a mask. I'm talking about, like, literally, it's like, go, give them a phone call. Something is all I'm saying. Bring them back to the familiarity of their of not just their youth, but of their meaning and how great they are. My grandparents are amazing. My father was amazing. You know what I mean? It's like, even with their flaws, even with their challenges, whatever it was, I wouldn't be the person that I am today had I never met them and gotten the exposure of their lives within mine. So I'm grateful for each and every one of them. And I want to make sure that even in my recluseness, because I mean, like I said, I go introvert real quick. I'm get to the point to where it's like, it's just too hard for me to people today. And I don't want to put my negativity on the next person. But when I do feel the love, when I do feel the gratitude, when I do feel that, I want to make sure that I'm sharing that in that moment, not just silently sitting with those thoughts, but allowing the people on the outside of me to know that they're loved and they're adored, just as much as I feel it while I'm sitting, by myself. And then, like I say, the day that you get old, they wish they'd have done more. Question them about what would they have done differently now. Give them a moment to live and look into the future of what if they had more time. You never know how much life that actually would input into another person. You know how they do I forget what the AD, where they, put it on. It's like, clear. Give them a clear today. Okay, give them a little AD push today. Like, boost up their focus, their memory, their forward thinking. So it's like, if you could do anything different today, grandmother, if you would do anything different, grandfather, if you would say that you can live out your greatest dream, or you could see a version of yourself that you didn't get to experience in this life, who would you be? What would you have done? What would you do if you could change life for us starting today? Give them an opportunity to live in the future so that today isn't the last day that they choose to breathe. A lot of them are just waiting on the moment that you pick up the phone to call, or they're not waiting for it. They're just existing and waiting on a moment that they stop breathing, that their heart stops beating. Because they're going to continue getting up and they're going to live. It's like, well, the Lord, no, if you allow it, if you decide for it. We don't know the day that we're born until we're here. Just like we don't know the day that we're going to die until we're gone. So what can you do in this moment today to ensure that you have the opportunity to be the love that was shown to you? Even if you don't see it, don't feel it on this day. At some point in time it was. Or be the love that wasn't shown to you. Take some time out today. Look at your family. You know what I mean? Look at your loved ones. I mean, because I'm telling you, it still breaks my heart. Some of them that I think about that are gone. Even like my aunt, like that wasn't supposed to happen ever. From my youth, I still cannot believe some things, but it is what it is. But give your grandparents and parents, if they're elderly, or if they're up in age. I'm not gonna say elderly because some of them are doing a lot better than us. But give them a moment to live today. Pick up your phone, call them, tell them how much you love them, tell them the contribution that they made in your life. Remind them of how important they are in your life today. And give them a moment to live in the future by inquiring and asking them, if you had something that you can change, or if you could change anything about this world, what would you live out? What would be your new purpose if today you were given umpteen years to, like, say you could start over day one today? How would you live your life the way that it is now? And you'll find out a lot. Them whippersnappers, they are wise beyond our years. I'm so not looking forward to those who actually put their hand to the plow no longer being in this place, because this technology age is great, but I mean, you got all these different things thinking for you. That's not the way. We were here and created and made to be. That's why they call us human beings. These computers ain't got no business teaching us and telling us everything. But we rely so heavily on them, and we don't recognize and appreciate the knowledge and the wisdom of those who have gone before us, who actually put their hand to the plow before all of this stuff was able to tell us by the typing of a Google question what time of day we should plant something. So reach out, make that peace, you know what I mean, before it's rest in peace. Start talking to your loved ones. Figure out like where things went wrong, and stop always, I can't say stop always, but don't look for there to be conflict. Look for there to be love. And when you don't see love, don't cast it to them. Like, don't judge them for it. Just, you still continue to be loved. I separate myself when I ain't see love. It's like, yo, it's like, hey, I love you so much, but my intentions and my design for our relationship is not for me to be in any conflict with you. I'm gonna own up to what I've done wrong, even if you don't, because I want us to be right. I love you. So, hey, how you doing? Oh, well, you know, okay, yeah, praise God. But it's up to you. Anyway, I just wanted to challenge y'all this morning. Like, the same thing. It's like I say, once just leaving from this here, it's like pick up the phone and call your grandparents. Talk to them while they're here. Give them a phone call. If you can go by and see them because you haven't been around other people, you know, you're COVID vaccinated, all the stuff right there, go see them. Embrace them. Show them some love. I know for sure I'm gonna go by and see my grandmother today because I've been out of the Joneses for like maybe 14 days. I've been straight. It ain't been a full 14, but I know it's been some days, so I might wave at her from the door. Hey, I love you. Somebody go in there and hug her for me because I want to embrace her neck. But yeah, my grandmother's a very powerful, dynamic person, and I mean, it's truly a blessing to have her still in here, you know, in this place with us, walking among us, just living and being. And man, what a major loss and a tragedy, if anything. So I just want to love on her today, and I encourage y'all to do the same. If not for them, do it for yourself, because once you can't hear their voice anymore, but I love y'all, all of y'all, with so much of me. I pray y'all have an amazing day. And yeah, keep the faith. Stay up. And if you can't do nothing else, if your grandparents aren't around anymore, call an aunt, call an uncle, call a great aunt, uncle, somebody. Everybody needs a little bit of love today. This world has been really cold for these last, for some. So be that warmth for their lives today. And if for nobody else, look in the mirror and give it to you then. You know? But this has been today's episode of Relatively Me 2020. I can see clearly now the pain is gone. Y'all have a beautiful day. God bless.